Hello, good evening. Hello, Raveman. Welcome to this second episode. Let's make an Amiga intro. Last week I called it Let's update an intro, but due to certain events that happened between last week and this week, I decided to do a series. It won't be a long one. Oh, hello, Emmolism. And hello, Musaferb. And hello, Frexian. So basically, I'm going to do a series by continuing on the intro that we did, enhancing it. It was very simple what we did, so that we just have a screen with some music and some equalizer or whatever you sound, something that changes according to sound. All good, Timonism, all good, all good. However, today I need to warn you. I'm going to try to do a scroll text, okay, at the bottom. Oh, Sarsi, thanks for the subs. Oh my, hold on, because Dockster. Oh my God, again, Dockster, come on. Oh my God. Thank you, Dockster. Every time you do it, my screen scrolls so fast up that I cannot read it. So yeah, thank you, Dockster. So thank you. So just to give you a small warning about this stream of today. When we started the intro, when we started the screen, I did not set it up to cater for Blitter. It was just an intro with some music and some image and nothing else. But to do a scroll, we're going to do a Blitter scroll. So we need the Blitter and you need to change a bit things. So we will do trying, let's say, to copy from one area of the memory to another, because that's what the Blitter does. It's good at copying. Hopefully it will not give me problems. So if we manage to get the copying done, then we can do the scroll. But till we do the copying, we might have issues. But anyway, that is the program of today, trying to do a scroll text. You will learn the basics of the Blitter, that's for sure. So from that point of view, it should help. So as always, I start with my lovely screen. Always please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my videos. This is how I get motivated, seeing the number of likes and seeing the number of subscribers going up. Besides my YouTube, please follow me on Facebook. Facebook decided to change the layout today. The page is still the same. So for the page is still the same. You will understand it. So all my posts goes to the page, Facebook page. But then I also have the Phase 101 group, which you can see Facebook decided to change the layout. The logo moved here and all the info moved here with management under here now. So Raveman, I'm warning you, unless it happened also there. And yeah, it's a change from Facebook. And besides Phase 101 Facebook group, there is also the Commodore Facebook group, where, as you know, anything related to Commodore goes there. Of course, I need to change to here. Of course, if you want to chat with me, please subscribe to Discord. Some people send me messages on Facebook. I do answer them, I do reply to them, but I take time because Facebook is not my platform. I only use it as a means of, social media, just to post there. For those that want to support me, I have Patreon and I have Coffee. They are an image of each other. Everything that there is on one is on the other one. And right now, if you support me, you unlock 60 videos, 60 more videos. I also have a page for donations if you prefer to do it once, but this is the most important thing, this page. If you want to learn assembly, you need references, you need things where you can find them quickly. There is this page that can help you program better on the Amiga, because it has got links to various things that can help you. The link is !book page, and you get the link to the page. Please note also that the game that I was doing every Friday, I released it on itch.io. I have to say I was surprised. Somebody used it as a game, but the aim is not to have a game. The aim is to teach others how to code, so sharing the code. I had no intention of sharing the game as a game, but I had the intention of sharing the code. But people liked it as a game, so why not? So I was shocked to see it like a game, whatever. The main aim is you can download the code, you can go to the YouTube, watch the videos, and learn how to code. Please read my text on itch.io page, where you have the links for all these things that you might need. So let's switch to the visual code. So as I said, let's see that it still works, because I haven't tried it since last Friday. Our lovely intro. So this is, hold on. Then I don't like running FSUAE. So this is all that we did. We have some copper bar, we have some image moving left and right, and some music. Now, notice that if we want to have a scroll text, it has to be somewhere down here, okay, which is in the lower part of the screen. However, initially, I will try to write at the upper left-hand corner to see that the Blitter is copying something to the screen, because I will need to do more to post it down here. So that's the main thing, that what I need to start with. The other thing is this crashes, and I know why. I didn't fix it last time. So let's fix it because it's annoying. I forgot to restore the stack. It's here. Because here I'm saving the stack, so saving to the stack, so I need to restore it back. So that should fix it. Yeah. That error code is related to WinUAE because of the quit command that it has. Okay, so it's not really an error. Okay, so that's our simple intro. The screen, I'm going to repeat this because it's crucial to what we are doing. The screen is not yet formatted for the Blitter. Anyway, all the code is going to go into a new file. Okay, I created a new file. I called it scroll.s, and all the code will go here that we will write today. So then there will be just a jump to this code that we write here. So we need to start, but there's something else I would like to fix. When I started writing this intro, I thought, okay, that to separate main from the start, but actually, because it's an intro and not a demo, doesn't make sense to have another subroutine here. So what I'm going to do is move these up here. Like that, we have one main loop, not 1 million loops. Why do we have check mouse when we are looping? Did I have? No. That label is, is there. Backup. Okay. So this we do not need. That's extra. So it should work as is. So that we can delete that extra code that I have there. Let's see. Oops. Double labels, of course. So let's remark it, and run it. Let's see, it is still okay. Yeah. So like that, we just have one main loop, not 1 million. And it's still doing the same thing. Perfect. So this code can be removed. I'm going to copy this. That is our main loop. Yes. Okay, this should be, to be honest, I'm going to leave it .s, but anyway, for now it does the job. And let's leave the check mouse there, but we are not using it. It doesn't matter. We have an extra label. But because it's an, I do that. We use a local label. So let's start with our scroll text. First of all, we will, the only thing that I did to the code of today is edit, in my images, I edit a font, this one, which is, of course it cannot display it, which is a 1-bit plain font. Okay, so we need to go to the here and load that. So let's call it font, and let's call it font end. And this one, I should copy that. And this is images. And we call the font 4 underscore 1. Okay. I think what I like to do always, I love the even command. It's good to have it. So we have our font. Another thing is my startup file uses this to set up the LMAI. Notice 6 should be Blitter. Okay, so we need to enable the Blitter now to be able to use it. So that is there, and now we need to write that we have Blitter enabled. Later in the code somewhere, further down somewhere here, you see it's setting the DMAs, what DMAs of the Amiga we are using. Okay, and now we need to add Blitter. So far so good, I hope. And even though we enabled the Blitter, we should still be fine. Yeah. So far so good. I'm just going to copy this. No. And let's start the Blitter copy routine. Okay, so this is to copy one character, one font to the screen. The font is, unfortunately, because it's raw, you haven't seen the image of the, let me try to do it here. So it starts with a space, and then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the alphabet, okay? A, B, C, D, E, F. And there is only the capital version of them, okay? There is not A, B, C, lowercase. So our text, okay, that we write in our scroll text needs to be capital, okay? And because we start from space we all know it is 32 ASCII, okay? So we add 32 to the, if we read the letter, if we read the space, to display space on the screen, okay? We add 32. Okay, so basically 32 is the, sorry, not to add, we subtract 32. So because we start from 32, because we subtract 32, it is 0, and 0 is the beginning of our font. So we know that the first definition that we have in our bitmap, bitplane, is the space. Then the one follows, 2, 3, 4, etc. Anyway, you will see what I mean. So this routine will print a character to the screen. Now, for those that follow my series of the book that I do every Saturday and Sunday, there is a print routine there, okay? And the print routine prints text to the screen, but it is Musa, thank you for the sub. Oh my god, thank you. So the print routine that I have, in a way, yes, this is the second episode, but what we will do today is like a block on itself. So it's like from the beginning, it's a block. In fact, you see I have a new file. Dr. Honey. Welcome to the stream, Dr. Honey. So the routine, okay, will print a character to the screen by copy it from somewhere in memory to somewhere else. So from where our font is stored to the screen memory. That's what we are trying to do. I'm going to call it print character, but it's actually a copy. The book I was saying, we have a print routine there, but it uses the CPU, not the Blitter, to copy to the screen, okay? Because it's for 8 by 8, so we're talking small text. But the Blitter works always the Blitter next cloud setup stream. Not sure I'm following Monism. I see, Dr. Honey. Yeah. Thank you, Musafa. So basically, we will use the first part of the print routine, but then the part where it uses the CPU to copy to the screen, we will use the Blitter. So you will see some similarities, but then, of course, there is the Blitter. There are some things that you need to know for the Blitter. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, don't worry. I'm relaxed about these things. Unfortunately, Emolizim, I have to tell you one thing. You know that I am not originally English. So sometimes I struggle to understand the English sense of humor. I have to admit. Even at work, they all pull my leg because of this. Sometimes they pass a comment and I just don't get it. So as long when they tell me, then I laugh. So, you know, it's still okay. I'm originally Maltese. I'm from Malta, but I live in UK. 22 years in UK. So this routine will need 80. Let's say 80. The character pointer to print the character pointer to print to the screen. Let's say we will have it fixed for now, okay? The character will be printed to a fixed position on the screen. In theory, it will always be a fixed position, but you'll see what I mean. Thank you. Well, I am a native, but you know, it's one of those things. So let's call it print character, print car, and let's start. So because I remember last time I had an issue, I'm going to start again with it, just in case our lovely play routine disturbs the register A5, because the register A5 is the base address for all the hardware registers. It's a known thing on the Amiga. We will need a counter. Okay, counter. Define constant word. So let's move it a bit down. So actually this should be, we start with 16, I guess. So why I have this counter? It means load effective address. I'm not going to cover the instruction set of the Amiga here, of the 68,000. I mean, you need to know something about the 68,000, but if you do not understand, still ask. I'm happy to explain. I have patience, so don't worry, it's okay. So what it means is put this address into the register A5, okay? So every time the screen, not the screen, every time the Blitter shifts the character, it can shift 16 pixels, okay? So it's going to shift 16 pixels. Once it shifts the 16 pixels, it starts again from 0. But it's in that moment that we need to copy the new character. Okay, so then it can shift that new character. However, for now, you can in a way ignore this counter. I'm just going to account for it, but it's not really. Doctor, I haven't really started. So I just wrote the first two things. So there will be a sub quick .word immediate one. So this is a counter that when we subtract one each time, but when it reaches 0, then we know that we need to put our character. Initially, I am not going to initially I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just preparing it. That is all. So when this is not 0, we print nothing. And basically, somewhere down here, we have no print, and we exit from the routine. So that's a start. Now, if it is 0, then we need to reset it, no? So I know already what's going to happen. When I'm copying the character, I will put here like this. But for now, I'm preparing the routine. So because this is not a necessity to copy the character right now. Okay, so now I told you about the thing that our space is 32 now in ASCII. So I need to cater for that. So this is, honestly, this part is a copy of the print routine that we've seen a million times in the book. So we initialized D2 with 0. We will read, okay, we will read what we have in our scroll text, which we haven't yet defined. Comma D2. Now, this one, this should have been at 0 should be the pointer to our scroll text. Gun Popo, if you do not understand, please ask, okay? I'm going to call you Gun, okay? If we reach the end of it, we need to reset it, but if not, no reset. So if we reach the end of the scroll text, we reset it, else we start from the beginning, but if not, we continue. Now, guys, notice how I write the code. Always, it's like when you are writing a high-level language. Now, let's say when you have C#, okay, you have the brackets, no, and you do this, okay, and then you start entering what's in it. I do the same thing with assembly, okay. If you notice, I opened, I start, and I closed. Okay, then the same thing. I know I need to jump, so I added the no print. Then I know that I need to reset, and then if not, I need to jump. So I created that already. This is how I do it, and it helps me in formatting the code in a way. So I don't know if any one of you uses this method, but I find it helps me a lot. So now, if it is equal, we need to reset it, and that is, let's assume we called it scroll text. Okay, so comma 80. So somewhere in main we will need to initialize that to 80. Okay, I should do it like that actually. And if it is 0, then we need to reset it, and we need to read the character again. So that should be it. Let's define the scroll text. What shall I write? Okay, I know. Remember I said we only have capital, so I'm writing everything in capital. Simple scroll text to help my friend Dockster finish his intro. You inspired me to continue with this. So I should say this scroll text uses the Blitter and just in case the font used, so that you guys know, is 16 pixels by 20 pixels. What else shall I write? Yeah, let's write what I like to write. Coding is fun. Greetings to all. Because normally there is the greetings now, so, and then some dots and some spaces, and we finish it with a 0. That should do it, I guess. So that is our scroll text. Should be fun. Okay, so now is the part where I told you about starting from space. So we have in A2, in D2, we have the character that we read from the scroll text. Okay, and scroll text is written here. And the assembler will complain. So, because it's case sensitive. Sinus scroll, I can do a sinus scroll, but it will not be anymore a simple intro. And to be honest, I covered the sinus scroll in the series of the book, but for a sinus scroll, you need to know it's not really. No, it's okay. The sinus scroll is not really for beginners, and I'd like to keep it to a beginner's level. I mean, I want you, okay, to at least code a simple demo like this, because if I go into the complexities of sinus, I mean complexities, once you know how it's done, it's not complex, but there is more things, to handle. I mean, if you don't know the Blitter today, okay, don't expect that next week, because I show you sinus call, you're going to do a sinus call, because you won't manage. There's too much to it. So one step at a time, no? But for example, after the scroll text, I would like to have a fade in and fade out, for example, for the logo, and things like that. Simple things, not complex, because if I complicate things, then it will not be any more simple, and the aim is for others to learn. In fact, the Blitter that we're going to use, the way we're going to use the Blitter today is very easy. It's the basics, it's copy. Okay, so this is where you need, you don't need to be sorry. I mean, the book that is on Saturday, Sunday is on episode 52, so it's been going on for nearly, it's 1 year and 1 year and 6 months, 18 months, I think, in total so far, something like that. I think it's 18 months. So yeah, and it's only at episode 52 because I had to take some breaks, as it is a lot more. So the first thing is sub.long, sorry, .byte, because we are reading byte actually. 32, okay, which is 20 hex from D2, okay? So if it's a space, we get a 0, and 0 is the beginning of our font, which is fine. Then we need to, this is a trick, guys. When you want to multiply by 2, okay, by itself, the same number, instead of using multiply, use add. So like this. It should be quicker. Okay, so basically the number added to itself, so it's multiplied by 2 basically. Let me put a comment so that you now we need to move what we have in D2 into what shall I use? Let's say A2. Into A2. So we just copied that value into address register A2. Then what we do is add, okay, what we have in A2 with the font. So we have the base address of the font. We add it to A2. that should be it, I think. So we multiplied it by 2. So why did I multiply it by 2? So if it's, let's say 1, okay, 1 plus 1, okay, is 2. And that means we start from the second position of our font. Am I getting this right? I should be. Yeah, yeah, it should be right, yes. Okay, so now this one, I'm going to copy it from the book because it's, and I will explain it because it's a must. Okay, I have the book open, by the way. I'm looking at the book. So what do we have here? Okay, besides my comments, I am testing for the blitter twice. If the blitter is being at least twice, if the blitter is being used. Why at least twice? Because if it's not being used, you still need to do it twice because there's a bug in the hardware, and sometimes this bit gives you the wrong value. So if you read it twice, you get it. Okay, but if it's being used, you loop. Okay, you loop, you continue to loop till it finishes. You cannot program the blitter while it is being used. Okay, by I say program, set parameters to the blitter while it is being used, because you can imagine now what happens. Let's say it has source and destination, and all of a sudden you change, it hasn't finished, and you change the destination or you change the source. You get garbage basically, or half of an image or something. So you need to check before you initialize it that it's not being used. This is a rule that you cannot avoid. Okay, and you do it by testing bit 6 of the register O2. I'm going to show you once I find it. So the LMAI con R. Okay, I'm just going to bring the browser. So we are in the upper bit. So the LMAI con R, okay, is the control, is the DMA control register, okay, and if you're, it reads whether the blitter is being used. I mean, one of the bits, okay, which is this one, bit 14, okay, if it's being used or not. Okay, so it's bit 6, okay, this would be bit 7, this is bit 6 of the high byte from the word of the register, because remember each register is 16, but we are only testing from here to here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. We are ignoring what we have here, and bit 6 is blitter busy. Okay, does that make sense, Doxter? So we have the we checked for the blitter. Now it's when we start copying. Proton. Oh, thanks for the raid, Proton. Wow, thank you very much. So, okay, let's start with setting it up. Oh, thank Fabio for the follow. So, this what I'm going to thank you, Dr. Honey. So what I'm going to write here is a simple copy, okay, using the blitter. Now, there are some values that you might need to take them as they are. I can explain, but then I would be going into a certain depth of the blitter, which I do not think it's wise for me to go there, because I have already explained it in the other video series. It's like repetition. So and it is you will need quite a, you know, the other series was about, when I did the blitter, was about 20 videos on the blitter by itself. I think 15 to 20. So there's quite a lot. So just accept the certain values. That's mainly it. So this is normal. Also, remember, we only have one bit plane. So we're only copying one bit plane. So we are not looping through each bit plane to copy all the layers. Okay, we are just copying one, which is where our screen is not set up, because the screen is not is 4 bit planes. Sorry, 5 bit planes. I think I said 4. And to do a full scroll, you need, where you are printing the character, you need to be hidden. No, it's like having an extra column, and it's not set up for that. So we need and this is standard value that I remember it by heart, basically. Yeah. So what I am doing here, I'm setting the source and destination, which, and I explain what source and destination are. So the blitter has 4 DMAs, okay? And they are called A, B, C, D, okay? D is always the destination, okay? Source can be A, B, and C. In theory, it's A, okay? So we are using A. So whatever we have, so what we are doing is whatever we have in A, we are copying it to D, okay? So A is source, D is destination. That is what that 9F means. And I'm going to jump back to the browser and show you what I mean. So let's find register 40. As you can see, it's BlitCon 0. and BlitCon 0. Now, don't get confused. The Blitter has got modes, let's put it this way, area mode and line mode. We are in area mode. We are copying now, so area. Okay? And the 9F, okay, is saying 9 is because we are using the D channel, okay? And we are using the A channel. So that's the 9. Okay? The F, okay, which is these 4, okay? We actually it's a min term, okay, which is F0, which means whatever is in A, copy it in D. There is a whole table about this, and if you want to know about min terms, but just accept that F0 is copying from A to D. And it is a common thing. You'll get used to it. It's because it's used so much. The other part is register 42, which is this one. Okay, we are setting it already to 0. So that's why move long, because instead of using 2 words to move dot word, we are using move dot long, so that BlitCon 1 is 0. We are not using anything of BlitCon 1. Okay, so all the bits are 0. So this time I'm remembering and I'm switching back to the visual code. This register, okay, is the first word mask and last word mask of the Blitter, and it is used for bobs when you are creating bobs. I mean, just so that you get an idea. And you tell it the ending how it is. Okay, so if you have a square, you can, for example, cut the first 4 bits of it and the last, let's say, 7 bits. Okay, this is how it handles it. Of course, if you remember, the Blitter always works in bytes. In words. I don't know how I came up with bytes. It's words. So if you have an image of 2 words, okay, so 32 pixels wide, you can specify, you can cut the left and you can cut the right. When there is only 1, you can still do the same. You can still do the same thing, and there are some other tricks. But so that you can get an idea what is first word mask and last word mask. One thing I didn't mention here, when we set BlitCon 1, here is the shift register. So basically, right now we are not shifting, okay? But if we shift, we will put, let's say we want to shift by 1 pixel. We will put a 1 there. It's not just, BlitCon 1 is not just used for shifting, it's used for other stuff, but the low byte is used for that. Anyway, that is info that is extra. So move dot long, what we have in A2. So now we need to tell it so we said which DMAs we are going to use. We said we are going to use DMA-A and DMA-D, okay? But DMA-A and DMA-D needs to know the source and destination address. So we are going to set the source and destination addresses now. And you do that by putting the address, the source, into register 50 of the hardware registers. Okay, so this is BLT Blit A PTR PT, sorry, that's the name of it. And if you notice how I'm remembering the names of the registers, because they all start with BLT and then the DMA and then what their function. So that's how you can get to know their names. And this is source address of A. This will be, so this is our font address, no? Where our font is. Okay, now we need the destination. And this is where it might crash. So I'm just trying to copy it at the upper left hand corner, okay? So that's why I used image, and I'm not doing anything. It's the first bit plane of where our image is. And this should be in register 54 A5. So this should be BLT DPT, and this is destination address of D, and this points to the screen address. Or bit plane address, I'd better say bit plane address. Better say, use that word. So now we need to specify the modulo. Okay, that's where no. Now this is because I know how the font was created. I know that I need the modulo of 120 minus 2. Okay. I do not have the image of it to show it to you, but basically it is the width of the in words, okay, minus 2 minus the length, because you're going to copy that. So let's say you have it, so 120 is what is the width? 120 times 16 is 1920. Okay, that's the width of the image. Okay, sorry, that's in bytes. No, because the modulo is always in bytes. That's one thing that I need to mention. The modulo, okay, let me put a comment here. The modulo is always specified in bytes, not in words. So it is 120 times 8. So it's 960, the width of our image where we have our font. And that means if I divide it by 16, what I just did, horizontally, we have 60 characters. So basically, our image is 960 by 60 by 20 height, which means we have 60 characters across. You know, there are 60 definitions by nothing else, because then there is the height, which is 20. So because we need two of them, so it is the width, so which is 120. The image is 960 division by 8 is 120 minus 2, because the Blitter works in words, so that is y minus 2. And we move that in A5 in register 64, right? Yeah. And this is the same BLT, it's source and then mod. Modulo source A. Okay, so we need the destination, no? Now this will be the. Now our screen is 320 pixels wide, no? So 320 division by 8 is 40, okay? So we do 40 minus 2, okay? And that will be the modulo for our screen. Because y minus 2, because the Blitter is going to take 2, okay? So that's the width of our font. Remember, it's in bytes, because this can confuse people sometimes. So now we need the last bit. Move.word. Now I will have to explain this, what I'm doing. Size. So when you write to this register, first of all, okay, you are initializing the Blitter. You're telling it, okay, start copying. So once you write to this register, that's it. You initialize the copy. Whether your configuration is right or wrong, it will start copying like an idiot, following your previous instructions. So what have I specified there? The 1, it means one word. So our font is 16 pixels wide, no? So one word. Okay, remember, it takes everything in words. Okay, this one, it means shift to the left 6 times, which means times 64. Okay, so this register is divided in 2. So when you want to specify the number of bytes, actually this should be, because we only have this should be 19, because the width is 20. So if I leave it 20, here you specify the width of the screen, but in words. Okay, now I need to make -1, okay, or put 19 there, because our screen is 320 pixels wide, and 320 division by 16 is 20, okay, but then there is the width of the Blitter, of our font, so you need to decrease 1 from it. So I could do either 20 minus 1 or 19. And here is in it the Blit copy. Okay, that's it. That's the Blitter copy. So, and this from here to here, you can copy and paste it, just changing these values here. It's a standard. You always need to have this before it, okay? Always. I cannot stress enough that you need to put that always. As you'll have the guru. Now, let me, before I test it, I want to show something. So let me switch to this like this and bring up what I have. Okay, so last week, while I was coding the demo that you already saw, okay, someone else, okay, my lovely friend Toxter, was copying, or not copying, but was writing his own way of doing it, okay, and this is his output. This really gives me joy, guys, okay? So remember, I had an image on the screen, I had music playing, and I had a copper bar or something moving, okay? And look what he did. So it's the same principle, roughly, but different way. So the code is used. I mean, I'm not saying that he used my code, but the same methods are used to produce something similar, okay? And this has been only since last Friday. Actually, he did this on Friday, but he had a bug with the copper bar, which I helped him, I think it was Monday, while I was working. But in the morning I didn't. I had not yet started the meeting, so it was fine. But yeah. So, guys, anyone can do such a thing. Of course, till you arrive to the pro level, it takes time, but it's a start. Everybody started from zero, even the pro, okay? So can you be there? I started from zero, like anybody else. Yeah, what he said. Okay, so yeah, Frexin, you can do the same. So it's the time when we start testing our code, and we will start seeing probably crashes. I mean, I don't know, but it's one of those things. So we are not loading this. Okay, so first thing, I need to load this. You will. And for the sake of to be safe, I'm just going to disable right now whatever we had. Okay, so in the loop we will just have the print character. Is it print char I called it? Yes. dot. That is all. We just have a loop, okay, which wait for raster, wait for vertical blank, whatever you want to call it. We are waiting for a specific raster line, and then we print the character. Now this actually let's do it once. Let's do check mouse for now, because else that scroll text needs to move from where it is, because it will be in the main loop and it will be initializing each time. So let's try to print one character and that's it, and then we wait for the mouse button to be pressed. Okay? And let's see if it will do what I did. Here I need to save though. Now, I can do this. I think. Right now, we do not need this. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment this out. What I'm going to do, first character we have is what? S. Okay, so we should see the letter S. I have some doubt on this, but yeah, let's see what we get. I'll guess I figure it out, no? Oops, first thing first. Always there is some scroll text. Okay, scroll text. So where do I have scroll text? Scroll text. And how did I name it? Scroll text. I guess this needs to be there. But then I do not need it in the other one. Symbol. Where else I'm referring scroll text? Scroll text. Scroll text. Is written correct? Is it here? Scroll text. Of course, I can't use PC. And still, good one. We need the include. No, we need to include the scroll text, scroll.s. So I'm just going to do one thing, because I realized that this is at the bottom and I prefer it at the top. So here we are importing the play routine, and then here we import And I called them routines because we will have more routines, of course, to make them scroll, to make it scroll. So this is, we called it sources and scroll.s. Where was it? It can be PC. Okay, it passed. So I'm not going to release the mouse button, okay? What we will see is the image with the copper bars behind it, no music and no, nothing will move in related to the music, etc. But we should see garbage or something on the screen besides what we were used to see. Let's see. Ah, good one. Did I forget to... Yeah, I didn't. I need to stop the music. But I can already tell it didn't work. There's nothing on the screen. This is a shame. Why I stopped everything? Because I want to make sure that nothing is interfering with our routine. So, as I said, it is independent and it should be, the scroll routine is independent of anything else, and it should display something. So here is now when we start. Actually, does it exit if I press the loud? Because I do not know if it's crashing or not like this. Normally, when something goes wrong with the Blitter, normally it crashes. Okay, so if I press the rest mouse button, it should go back to the shell. Yeah, and we have something here. Okay, I'm going to run it again. That's strange. So that's where I was copying, okay, in that corner. But we see nothing there. And again, there is something there. So, okay. So, that's the Blitter, guys. And I said this is the simplest way, okay? Copying. So, this is correct. So the source address and the destination address. So this is what I must have wrong. I must have that wrong. So here, what I'm going to do in here, this is not right, I think. So that still has to remain, but let's give it to it immediate. So let's say we want to print the character A or the first one after the space. So we have 16, so 2, because it's 2 bytes, times 20, 20 is the height, times 2. So this is the size of the character, and which one we want to print is the second one, and we move that into the D2. Let's see. Because then the result of that is moved into A2, and then we edit what we have in the address of font into A2. Okay, let's see. Where we were, same thing. But at least we don't have garbage now. So and we are not affecting A2 anywhere, so that should be fine. We just need to print one font. We should see a square, but we are seeing everything except a square. Just 2 dots. How can it be 2 dots? I mean, okay. Let's be more blunt. Right? That should do it. Same answer. Definitely. That cannot be -1. It has to be -2. Because we have 40 bytes across the screen, and we are copying one word, which is 2 bytes. So 2. Source has a modulo of 0 now. Destination is image is correct. And A2 is pointed to pattern. We can also do hash pattern. Always same thing. So now the address is definitely correct. And we're telling the mask everything. So that's correct. And the min term is F0. And source is not, yeah, That's correct. Reasoning. Okay. We do till 10 more minutes and then I'll call it a day. And let's see if somehow something illuminates me. What I'm going to do is create a breakpoint till here. Actually, till here. Well, let's do it both. I want to see the addresses being loaded in there. So debug mode. Let's see. Yeah. So we are here. So in what is pattern? Now you cannot see the Amiga, but it's the debugging what you should see. So image. Image. There you go. You can see it, no? Image. That's the address. And that's being loaded into and pattern. And that's the other address. So that's a chip name address. Hold on. Where is the... So here, 54. That is image. 154 D4 and images 154 D4. So that address is being loaded correctly into A54, A5. And A5, what does it have? Should have DFF 000. That is correct. We are putting 0 in the modulo. Here, that's 0. And here we're putting... So Now let's see where I have pattern, how it is in memory, or where it is in memory, because that's just something that clicked in my head right now. If I go here, they are loaded in chipmem because I should be specifying chipmem before. Where is chipmem? So copy list. Ah, okay, that is there. I was already thinking, how is it possible? And after this, I am loading the other files. I'm loading these chip data. So that's okay. So let's see the memory at pattern. Scroll. This is not in chipmem though. This is wrong where I defined it. It can never happen. Boom. That should be here. That needs to be in chipmem to be able to work. Okay, so that's definitely a bug. We don't need this here now. And we can remove the breakpoints. So let's run it and see. Yes! Jesus Christ, what I had. Oh my God. There you go, the square. Okay. Okay. We know that the copy routine of the Blitter is working, so now I need to fix the font. Oh. Was that loud enough? Oh my God. There you go. The square is there. So you know that the Blitter works only on chipmem. And
Yes.
we defined the pattern not in chipmem. So it can never be displayed.
Yes.
Jesus. Luckily, I used the debug and I said, how is this? This is why I said, is this chip memory? When I started seeing the address, is this chip mem? It's not. Okay, so now, okay, so it's working. So it was always working. We were not specifying chip mem. So if we do this now, so that we close on a good note, that's back to normal, and let's put it back to normal. Oh my god. Let's put everything to normal now. This should work. Yeah, it should work. It should work, but it will not move because we are not in a loop. Okay, so this comes outside the loop. Because we are only printing it once, and this goes back again to main loop. Yes, always. It needs to be in chip mem. And you know, when I was checking the other bit, I started saying, is this chip mem? It cannot be. That's why I was calculating. That's what it needs. The source needs to be in chip mem for it to work. Same for the destination. It needs to be in chip mem. And I had the source not in chip mem. Anyway. Let's see. We should see the square on top of the screen and everything working fine. Yeah. I forgot to enable the music. Yeah. Let's enable the music. Okay. The music is enabled. Now. Yes. Yes. And the block is moving because I'm moving the whole screen. Okay, so that's why it is shifting. Okay, so now to be able to do a scroll, we need a separate screen. So we need to have a split screen, because else it will not work. That's why I was telling you we have an issue with the main screen. So I need to open a screen at the bottom next time and then do the scroll. But now that we have the copy, we will sort the font. That's okay. Good. Just for that block. Just that block. But I'm happy this is correct now. So the routine is okay. So we will fix this part. I mean, this part, I think here what needs to be modified, but yeah. And we will go. Oh yeah, the drum roll is slow. Yeah. Okay, so just to recap a bit, okay? The copy is this. Okay, we have, leave it there, but this line should not go. So these are the lines that are of interest, okay? And then always to have the blit. wait for blit. Make sure that the blitter is not being used. So next time we'll be able to print the characters to the screen and then we'll make them move. But before, we need to split the screen. We have to have two screens. Even though it looks like we have one screen, actually we need to have two screens. So we need to use a split. We need to split it. Okay, for next time. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for your patience to be with me. I hope to see you tomorrow or next week, either Tuesday or Friday. Tomorrow it's in Italian, Sunday in English. See you guys. Thank you. Bye bye.